Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punching!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay Black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Today's Wednesday, November 19, 2025, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. Congress is waiting on Donald Trump's signature as the Epstein files take center stage. We'll talk with Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts about this very issue. A Black Indiana mom was sent home from the hospital while in active labor, only to give birth in her car minutes later. Along with her attorney, she's demanding accountability and real change. Tuskegee University has settled its federal lawsuit against the American Veterinary Medical Association, ending a major legal battle over accreditation for the nation's only HBCU vet school. We'll talk with the school's president. White nationalist Nick Fuentes is planning to infiltrate politics, and the right says, you know what, we need him on our side. I told y'all they want to appeal to racists. Oh, Lawrence B. Jones, he's got to be white. You know you got to be real dumb on Fox News, and you sit next to Ainsley Earnhardt and Brian Kilmeade. He had a meltdown. He said it was just so unfair that Donald Trump has a low approval rating. Really, Lawrence? It looked like an ass-kissing fool. Tech Talk. Isaac Hayes III will give us an update on Fanbase. We'll also talk about AI and music. Folks, it is time to bring the funk. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the fine. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's rolling Martin, rolling with rolling now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's rolling Martin now.
So, Donald Trump called the Epstein files a hoax. So, why is there a bill going to his desk to literally open up all of those files? Now, you know the twice impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief, the con man, Donald Trump himself. He's been fighting like mad to keep those files from being made public. Well, guess what? Now you're going to have nearly 100,000 pages of documents collected by the Department of Justice during various federal investigations with regards to the drama of Jeffrey Epstein, his longtime girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. You know, the one who Donald Trump moved to a minimum security prison? Yeah, the bill permits the Department of Justice to withhold personally identifiable information about victims' materials related to child sexual abuse and information deemed classified for national defense or foreign policy purposes. I'm not quite sure what Jeffrey Epstein could have been doing that falls into that category, but I'm sure Alan Dershowitz could come up with some reason to explain that. Now, what was also interesting today is that Attorney General Pam Bondi, mysteriously said there's an ongoing investigation. What the hell are these people doing? Massachusetts Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley joins us right now. Congresswoman, glad to have you back. What the hell is this woman talking about? I'm confused. First, when they came in, she said there was all this new stuff on her desk. Then she later said, well, ain't no new stuff. Now it's some new stuff. What the hell? You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, Roland, distraction, deflection, incompetence, obstruction, stonewalling. I mean, which descriptor do you want to choose? Look, the fact of the matter is, and having spent a lot of time with the survivors of Epstein's trafficking, pedophile, predator Ponzi scheme. They don't want any more investigations. We don't need any more investigations. We just need these files to be released. When I spent time with these women, they said, there's information about my life in here, crimes that were committed against me. And despite numerous FOIA requests, I've never been able to access information about what happened to me. We are the Epstein files, and we want to be released. I mean, this has derailed, permanently deferred dreams for these survivors, many of them who aspired to be dancers, artists, elected officials. And this pursuit of accountability and justice and healing has consumed their lives. It's been an institutional systemic betrayal from law enforcement for the government. We need these files released. Roland, we have no idea how far-reaching this is. Epstein has been accused of being a foreign asset. We know there are implications with banking as well. So we need these files released, and that's going to inform how we move with committees, not only in the Committee on Oversight and Reform, but there could be more work to be done on financial services. There could be more work to be done on judiciary. But for right now, this is a step in the right direction for these survivors and for any survivor who has been silenced, dismissed, or harmed. This is a victory for the survivors movement.
Now, one of these right-wing groups had this undercover sting thing going where they had a DOJ official saying that they were redacting Donald Trump's and other Republicans' name from these files. Do you trust that when they are released that you're going to actually see the real information?
Well, certainly using, precise language in the subpoena to ensure that we are getting the only information that we redacted would be the names of survivors. But, you know, look, Roland, what can we do? I mean, there's always going to be the threat of this administration obscuring facts and data. I mean, they are more interested in perpetuating propaganda and lies. They are more interested in distraction and deflection, obstruction and stonewalling. I mean, let's not forget, Roland, this is not some come to Jesus movement. The fact that we have had 33,000 emails released and information from the Epstein estate is not because they suddenly had a turnabout and were good-hearted. It is because their hands were forced. Their hands were forced by the procedural work of the Committee on Government Oversight and Reform, which I said, and because of the mastermind of Summer Lee, chair of the Law Enforcement Subcommittee, and our ranking member, Robert Garcia, that forced a subpoena to the Department of Justice. And then a discharge petition offered by Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey, which they stonewalled that. We could have had that signature 6 weeks ago, but because they were disenfranchising a duly elected member of Congress, Adelita Grijalva, Arizona's 7th Congressional District, they would not swear her in, which we have done in many pro forma sessions when members have been elected in a special election. And they refused to swear her in because they knew she would be the 218th signature on that discharge petition. Donald Trump has not had a come to Jesus. He don't even know Jesus. What has happened here is that he knew he was going to lose. And so he then said, I don't care, release it. And then listen to his language. He said, basically he put a caveat on what could be released. We need everything. And then what happened with Republicans in the House after they had refused to sign that discharge petition all these many weeks, then they fell in line. Because they have a fealty and loyalty to Donald Trump, not to survivors, not to the people and communities that elected them to serve. They are more worried about keeping a job than doing it.
Yeah, I got a kick out of them for the longest saying, oh, this is no big deal. It's nothing. It's a hoax. But damn, they fought really hard to keep this day from coming.
Well, I mean, Roland, they lie. I mean, he campaigned on affordability. He hasn't lowered any costs. He campaigned on the Epstein files and then said it was, nothing to see here, folks, So, look, this is about accountability. And, Roland, I have to be honest, as someone who's done the work of survivors justice a long time, and I do also want to credit Tarana Burke and the Me Too movement, which is survivors' name to me directly, as something that helped them to get to this moment as well, that people have said to me, why are you dedicating so much time to this? Why does this matter? It matters because there are implications of corruption and a government cover-up, and everyone should care about that. These people are powerful. They are privileged, the wealthy and the well-connected. They could have stored all of that privilege for good, Roland, and instead they chose to traffic girls. And as a survivor, I need to say this. You're seeing grown women in front of you, but when they speak, it is just beneath the surface. Sometimes you can see them regress in real time. They were children, 14 years old as young as, who were groomed, preyed upon, exploited, violated, and trafficked. Jeffrey Epstein used the high schools in Palm Beach as a hunting ground. So Jeffrey Epstein can rot in hell, and myself and our survivor community are going to make sure he has no peace while he's there. And Ghislaine Maxwell, Virginia Giuffre's brother, Virginia Giuffre is one of the survivors who took her life after 3 decades of advocacy, and he said Ghislaine Maxwell should not be at summer camp playing with puppies. So Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and their co-conspirators, they all deserve to be held accountable. So wherever, Roland, these files lead us, we need to follow.
What do you make of Larry Summers? He, of course, steps down from the OpenAI board, stepping back from professional commitments. There's a lot of people who were still hanging out with him, kicking it with him after that heinous sexual, I don't know what you would even call it, sweetheart deal he got. And like it was no big deal.
Yeah. Again, wherever these files take us, we need to follow, and there has to be accountability and there has to be consequences. I know he offered, some half-assed apologies for his interactions. Again, we don't know who could stand to be implicated, but we deserve to know everyone. This has been an institutional betrayal, a cover-up by the government and law enforcement. And again, we don't know who's connected, who's implicated, and if this could still be going on. I mean, for people that are saying, why should we care about this again? Government corruption, Epstein could have been a foreign asset. There are implications to our financial service industries, to our banks, but also we don't know if this is still going on, given how many accomplices and co-conspirators there were in this endeavor, the powerful and the privileged.
I have heard some absolutely crazy things in all of this, but I probably wasn't prepared for the sheer stupidity of Megyn Kelly when she made this comment. And let me play it. And then,
was this about the ages?
Yeah, hold on one second.
About the ages?
Hold on one second. Here we go. This is Megyn Kelly talking about the Epstein case. And, well, I mean, they weren't 5 years old. They were 15. Listen to this, y'all.
Wow. As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn, now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh, no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, it's just...
Wow.
I'm sorry. Wow. The barely legal part. If Jeffrey Epstein is trafficking 15-year-old girls, they're not women, they're girls, that's called rape. That's not... and this is a so-called lawyer, Megyn Kelly. Please.
Yeah, so-called would be the right word. First of all, we know that she does not follow any facts. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Same reason last week she was talking about black women can wear their hair however they want and not experience, discrimination. And we got a whole Crown Act about banning race-based hair discrimination. So, she is not well-read, not well-versed, and clearly an apologist and an enabler for pedophiles. And I'm not surprised because we have seen systemically Republicans, they have given cover to everybody from Jim Jordan to Matt Gaetz to Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein, so birds of a feather. But that is just shameful and disgusting. We are talking about children. And again, you are changed permanently on a cellular level. It is a lifetime sentence. What any survivor has endured. You revisit it, you live it for the rest of your life. It impacts the intimacy of your relationships emotionally and physically. It changes how you navigate the world. It changes how you see yourself. For every single survivor of Epstein's trafficking, and by the way, this may go down as the biggest human trafficking operation in the history of this country. There might have been as many as 1,000 survivors, which is, again, why we need the full release of these Epstein files. Yeah, many, many victims' lives changed forever, and they are so deserving of these files to be released so that we can get them one step closer to accountability, to healing. And I won't say justice. Justice would mean that they would never have been violated in these violent and egregious ways by this pedophile, predator, Ponzi scheme. Just absolutely disgusting.
And I think also disgusting is to listen to Republicans like Speaker Mike Johnson say, well, Democrats had these for 4 years and they did nothing. No, that was an investigation. They could not be released. In fact, the papers, I mean, this is what's, again, what they will brazenly lie. And Julia Brown, who is the journalist with the Miami Herald, who is really broken this wide open, she has had to correct Mike Johnson, Stephen A. Smith, all these people who've been yelling and screaming who don't know crap. And she's like, no, they could not release the files.
Roland, they don't care. And you're using the word govern very loosely because I don't call that what has happened under Republican majority. It's been chaos. They are as incompetent as they are indifferent. They are operating with a deficit of empathy and compassion, and they're clearly clueless about what the American people struggle with and care about. The majority of the people in this country want these files released and do believe that the government did play an active role in the stonewalling of these files being released and are unhappy with the way that Trump has handled it. So those chickens will come home to roost. Right now, that discharge petition passed the House, passed the Senate by unanimous consent. Donald Trump has 10 days to sign it, and then 30 days from the signature of that discharge petition for the full release of those files.
Last one here. This is Mike Johnson. This is Michael Schnell had this video. Johnson wasn't happy at all that the Senate just simply came to the House and they were like, whoop, gone, passed. It was unanimous consent. He was not too pleased. Well, listen to this.
Any reaction to Leader Thune, you seeing the bill without adding amendments or changing it?
I'm deeply disappointed in this outcome. I think.
Wow.
I'm told I've been at the state dinner. I don't know. I was just told that Chuck Schumer rushed it to the floor and put it out there preemptively. It needed amendments.
Wow.
I just spoke to the president about that. We'll see what happens.
So do you think he may veto it? You say you spoke to the president?
I'm not saying that.
He's supportive of it in its current form.
We both have concerns about it, so we'll see. I was standing there with the Crown Prince. We couldn't talk.
Are you frustrated in the majority leader? Are you upset with the majority leader?
Look at that. So,
Roland, can I just say, these fake ass Christians, I don't know what else to say. I mean, just they speak with a mouthful of scriptures and carry a heart full of hate. Marian Wright Edelman said that if you don't stand for the children of the world, you don't stand for much. Shameful and disgusting. The only light that I see in this moment is that they are being fully exposed. And I hope the American people are paying attention.
Yeah, I agree. All these people, they love Jesus and they all talk about righteousness and they love praying and singing and all that good stuff. But when it's time to actually show what a Christian looks like, it's amazing how they turn into, well, I don't know, heathens.
Roland, I don't know. They must be reading that Trump Bible, you know, the one that he was selling that he holds upside down.
Oh,
can't even name one scripture.
You mean the one that has 2 Corinthians?
Exactly. You know what, Roland, while I got you, let me be selfish for a moment. I keep being asked about Marjorie Taylor Greene, so I want to know what you think.
Here's the deal. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she crazy, but she ain't stupid. She sees what's about to go down. She sees that here's the deal. Remember, when Democrats last had control, she had no committee assignments. She had nothing. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, come January 2027, my ass gonna be in the minority. And I am hoping the Democrats don't snatch my committees so I can be on something. She knows they're going to lose the House. She knows that they have screwed up the economy, They have kissed Trump's ass so much. So she is sitting here trying to build up as much goodwill as possible because what she does not want to do is see a repeat for 2 years where she sits on no committee, can't question anybody, and all she has left to do is just sit in her office and be on TikTok. That's what this is. To see how aggressively she is opposing them on health care, opposing them on the Epstein issue and so many issues. She sees what is coming a year from now. They are going to get mollywopped, and she's like, she wants to wear my T-shirt. We tried to tell you.
Well, this is the way I see it. Myself, Representative Tlaib, Representative Omar, our pictures were used as target practice by Marjorie Taylor Greene when she was running for Congress. So I have been on the receiving end of the violence that she incites. I would say that it's not just her rhetoric that's been violent, but also the policies that she has supported. This is certainly a hostile administration. And so, look, I am a woman of faith. I believe in the capacity of everyone to evolve and to atone and to redeem themselves. And so we'll just see how she moves and how she votes.
Listen, I'm real clear. I can accept somebody saying, I made a mistake, please forgive me, and all of that. Don't mean I'm inviting your ass to the house.
Well, we're too liberal about who gets to come to the cookout anyway.
No, hell no, not me. Listen.
But anyway.
I got some family members who I will tell, your ass can't come to my house. So you got to understand, you talking to the person who, when my grandmother died, when I landed in Houston, my mama said her brothers and sisters all voted for me to be the sergeant at arms at the funeral. It was my job. I am not lying. It was my job. If anybody stood up and said, I want to speak, sit your ass down. I literally stood right next to the podium, and it was kind of like, nope. You can't speak.
Well, they're telling me I got to get to the next thing, brother.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Keep up the good fight.
You got it.
Thanks a lot. All right, folks. I'm going to go to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
In this country right now, you have people get up in the morning, and the only thing they can think about is how many people they can hurt, and they got the power. That's the time for mourning.
For better or worse, what makes America special, it's that legal system that's supposed to protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority.
We are at a point of a moral emergency. We must raise a voice of outrage. We must raise a voice of compassion. And we must raise a voice of unity.
We are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win.
Hello, I'm Bishop T.D. Jakes, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, y'all, let's introduce my panel. Win Cooney, CEO and co-founder of Politicking out of D.C., Dr. Neon Carter, associate professor, School of Public Policy, University of Maryland, author of American While Black, African Americans, Immigration, and the Limits of Citizenship. Joining us from D.C., Teresa Lundy, principal and founder of TML Communications from Philadelphia. Glad to have all of y'all here. Win Cooney, I'll start with you. First of all, I just got to go ahead and just get y'all thoughts on that trifling ass Megyn Kelly for those comments. You on mute?
The Congresswoman said it best. Those comments were disgusting and heinous, Roland, and unfortunately are the thoughts of an apologist, right? We can't distinguish between somebody raping, molesting, sex trafficking, a 5-year-old versus a 15-year-old. We just can't do it. And those comments were extremely, extremely salacious, but unfortunately are the comments of many people who are listeners of that show, and that people that are continuing to support this administration despite the really nasty things that I think we're going to see come out in the next 30 days.
Biambi.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, we're talking about girls, and they're women now, but the even way she was referring to them in their present state, these were girls. These were not barely legal. They were not legal. And that was the point. And she's like, some people call it a distinction without a difference. It is a distinction without a difference. We can call it whatever we want, febophilia, pedophilia, whatever you like. The fact of the matter is you had an adult man preying on some of the most vulnerable people he could get his hands on. And he used a network of people to traffic these young women, to cover up their abuses, and then had a lot of people who were making it easy for him to stay out of prison and to continue to abuse and to continue to have connections and continue to use his wealth to get around this. So the fact that Megyn Kelly sits up there and defends this dead man, we know this isn't anything to do about getting the language right and everything to do about trying to offer some sort of pretext to excuse all of the men's names that we might see in these files who are likely to have had some interactions with these young girls. And I think it's important to say that, because Jeffrey Epstein is dead and gone, but these files live on, and we know that there is so much more to uncover. And so she's basically offering or trying to offer an out, but it's disgusting, it's abhorrent, it's gross, and unfortunately far too common in our culture.
Teresa?
Yeah, I echo the sentiment of my two panelists. I mean, outside of saying, this looks like a pedophile network, it isn't just men that can be pedophiles. Women absolutely can be pedophiles as well. And I think, Megyn Kelly was a pure example of what a heinous description of how you try to figure out a communication message or another perspective on a mainstream medium. I think it's just a disgrace, and it's actually a part of Trump's playbook.
Absolutely. And so it is, again, amazing to just sit here and watch these crazy, deranged people. So now, when Cooney Trump is on the clock, the question now is he going to veto the bill, sign it, or do a pocket veto by not even responding?
I think in the next 30 days, we're going to see Trump sign it. But what I think will end up happening is that it's going to be held up, right? I don't think that they're going to release all of the files. I don't think that we're going to get the transparency that the American people are seeking. And I hope that Congress continues to hold Trump's feet to the fire in this. It's going to be really, really important that all of the people that voted to pass this Epstein transparency bill continue to hold the president accountable, if he does sign this bill moving forward, to ensure that all of the names are released, with the exception, of course, of people that were protected and the minors, etc. But all of the names must be released. All the locations must be released. Like Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley said, we have to make sure that we start to detangle this criminal network, because that's what it is. It's a network of people that have been protected by their prestige, that have been protected by their power, and we simply cannot continue to let them get away. Like you mentioned, although Jeffrey Epstein is deceased, there are so many other people that need to be held accountable and liable for their crimes. Ghislaine Maxwell is one of them. She's not getting held accountable enough, in my personal opinion, but there are others that we need to continue to see prosecuted for their crimes against young women, for their crimes against, the entire United States. And really, we have to continue to push these things forward. We have to make sure that they're held accountable, and we have to make sure that accountability is set out.
Niambi.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I think Trump knows he does not have a veto proof majority here. Like he's going to get, if he vetoes it, they're just going to push it back through. So I think he will sign it, but I have to agree with Cooney. He's going to slow walk it. He's going to hope we forget. He's going to hope it gets lost in the holiday season. People like to sometimes let things out like right around the holidays when people are busy, when people are celebrating and not paying as much attention. But I think at this point, by continuing to stonewall, he's actually piqued people's interest. So people who normally wouldn't go in for things like this are now all of a sudden going to be paying attention. So I don't think Donald Trump has any way way to get out of this. And it's funny, like his undoing has really been his own making. He made a lot of hay about these Epstein files in 2024 when he was running. And now here we are, and he actually has the power to release. He's still trying not to, but clearly his party has turned on him. And I don't think there's any coming back for him on this night.
Teresa.
Trump has proven time and time again that he is going to go back on his word. Either he's going to be honest if he feels like it, or he's going to be a denier. And I think when he signs it, I do believe this is going to go forward. I don't believe any more stalling is going to happen on his end. He said, release the files. That's what he said on True Social, his platform. So we're going to see the files released. We don't know when it's going to be released, but I think when it's released, I think you'll see all of, Trump's back. He has friends, right? But he also has those that he's done wrong, i.e. Marjorie Taylor Greene and others he's done backdoored and called a traitor. So I believe they will also arm their forces and make sure they're prepared to come at Trump when necessary.
All right, folks, let's talk about this story. For the second time in a week, we got a story involving a black pregnant mother who claims the hospital mistreated her. Mercedes Wells says she was wheeled out of Crown Point, Indiana's Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital by security while she was in active labor and forced to give birth on the side of the road 8 minutes later. The Wells family says they spent 6 hours at the hospital pleading with staff as Mercedes' contractions came just a minute apart. Despite her pain, a nurse sent her home without even letting her see a doctor. Mercedes, her husband Leon, and their attorney, Cannon Lambert, joins us right now. I'm glad to have all three of you. Okay. So Mercedes and Leon, take us through going to the hospital. You're going in. What happens when you initially go in?
When we get there, we're put in a triage room. I'm going through labor. My contractions are hitting me. I'm squeezing my mom's hand, what she said, so hard that it felt like her hand was going to break, literally. The nurse comes in and she says, okay, I'm going to check you. She checks me. She says I'm only 3 centimeters, so she wanted to wait for 2 hours and come back and check me again. I began walking through the halls, and everyone on staff sees me in agony and pain. They see that I'm in active labor.
So they see it, and all of a sudden, okay, so what then happens? I mean, no one's coming to your aid? No nurse, no doctor? Are y'all yelling, saying, can we see a doctor? Can we see somebody? She is clearly about to have this baby.
Yeah. The nurse said that I wasn't in active labor. And the doctor never came into my room. I never heard from a doctor, not one time.
And y'all were in the hospital 6 hours?
Yes.
6 hours, not one time a doctor comes in?
No. She told me the doctor's order said I had to be discharged.
Wait. The nurse said the doctor's orders were for you to be discharged, but the doctor never saw you.
Exactly.
Cannon, what the hell?
You're right to ask that question. You put your finger directly on the issue. The unbelievable circumstances of this situation are these. They let a woman who was in active labor, leave their hospital when they never allowed her to be seen and examined by a doctor. And yet they used that as the excuse for why she was discharged. And by the way, she was discharged and accompanied by security. Now, you explain to me why that is.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the reality of this is very simple, right? We should be able to agree. We should be able to agree that a pregnant woman who is in active labor should be seen by a doctor. We should be able to agree that a pregnant woman who is in active labor and that is a season, she got 3 children beforehand, so she knows what her body is telling her. That before you discharge her, that at the very least, a doctor should be in a position to determine whether or not that's necessary. You shouldn't be making decisions based on someone's economic position or their ethnic position as to whether or not you're going to discharge somebody. You should be instead rendering care, and we don't know that happened here. We don't think that it did.
So, okay. So security escorts y'all out.
Yes.
You get in the car. Leon, what happens?
So as I'm driving, we're about 8 minutes away. We're actually about 5 minutes away at the time when my wife said she had to push 5-6 minutes away at the time. As she said, yeah, she had to push. 8 minutes in, I see my baby's head coming out of my wife.
You have to pull my pants down.
I pull the pants down, start pulling her pants. She's like, babe, help me pull my pants down. I have to push. And I literally see my baby's head. Call 911. I'm like so afraid. Like, man, I don't know what to do. You know, I'm not a doctor. You know, I don't have any type of medical experience. I don't know what to do. So I literally pulled over and saw, you know, like my baby's head when I called 911. And I literally, you know, helped pull my baby out. And yeah, it was this, you know, so it was definitely go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It was definitely a scary moment, man. I just definitely didn't, I didn't know what to do, but
I take it you were afraid that if you do something wrong, that could jeopardize the health of your baby.
And my wife.
Okay,
yep.
So you called 911. So did the ambulance arrive after you delivered the baby?
I did not stop for the ambulance. So they told me, you know, I called 911. I'm like, what should I do? They're like, wait for the ambulance. I said, I can't wait for the ambulance. My baby's head is right here. I can't wait. And I was afraid that if we did wait, they was going to take us back to the same hospital that this mistreated us. That was my fear. So I had to drive 30 minutes to the nearest hospital to get seen.
Wait, so when you called 911, were they coaching you through?
They ain't say nothing. Wait,
stop. You're on the phone with 911. You're not a doctor. You said, I can see my baby's head. So.
Blank. Wait on it, sir. Pull over. Wait on an ambulance. I say, ma'am, my baby's head is coming out of my wife. What should I do? And I kind of lost it at the time, but I had to catch myself. And she like, just pull over the ambulance and assist you. I say, ma'am, I can't wait. I can't wait. I see my baby's head. And my wife's like, I got to push. And when she, you know, I literally had to put my finger between my baby's head and kind of pull it out at the same time. And luckily nothing happened to my wife or my baby.
That is shocking, stunning. So okay. Y'all have had children before, so Mercedes is not like this wasn't your first rodeo. But your baby gets delivered. Did you have to cut the umbilical cord? Did you leave it attached?
You did.
You left
it. Yeah, we left it attached till we got to the hospital.
You left it attached. Now you got to get behind the wheel. You drive to another hospital 30 minutes away?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you roll up to the hospital, what did they say and do?
They was love. It was all love. I called the ambulance, 911 again. I told them, I said, listen, we on our way. I'm driving. I'm getting off on Calumet exit. I'll be getting off. I'll be at the hospital in 5 minutes. And he alerted. He was like, okay, I'll alert the new hospital. And they alerted him, and it was literally 20 people, 15, 20 people that's sitting out there waiting on us with blankets and, you know, towels and a stretcher. You know, they came out there and they helped assist us, and they greeted us with love and the respect that we deserved.
First of all, Mercedes, how's your child?
She's doing well.
Yeah, she's safe.
She's safe.
Cannon, there are absolutely no words. So have you heard from the hospital? Have you heard from anybody?
So we've been asking publicly for an opportunity to meet with the administration at the hospital, because I'm trying to figure out whether or not they believe somehow that their policies and procedures, their protocols that are in place would allow for something like this to happen. You have to imagine that they don't. We want to talk to them about why this happened, how this happened, and what they've done about it so far. They have told us that they have internal investigations that they're engaging in, and that through HIPAA, they also don't want to violate HIPAA. Well, we don't concern ourselves with HIPAA. We want to talk to them.
Wait. See, that's the same crap they said in Dallas. HIPAA,
right.
First of all,
right. And it's crap.
HIPAA applies to the patient.
That's right. That's right.
This is the patient.
And that's the point, right? I mean, Roland, you have it directly on. And I know you know about this. You know about the fact that infant mortality rates are more than three times higher in the Black community. Black women are more subjected to adverse consequences in birth than are any other group of women. And so you're right. This whole HIPAA thing, number one, you're right. It applies to the patient. And guess who the patient is? The very people that want to talk to them. So that's not really a real basis for them to avoid addressing this issue. But they throw that out there because it's a red herring. All it is pie in the sky. The other thing that they say to us as to why they can't meet us in the way of their generalized statement that they put out is that they can't talk to us because of the fact that they have an internal investigation. Well, we want to know, what are you investigating?
Wait, hold on. If you're having an internal investigation, don't you need to talk to the people that led to the internal investigation?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Who you talking to? You going to talk to the nurse, the doctors, and not the person?
Right.
Oh.
These folks are an amazing, amazing couple, and that beautiful little baby is going to have a great, great life because of them. You see a show and you see a hero right in front of us, but they should have never been in a position where they had to prove that this early. Okay. The bottom line is that there is no way in the world that a woman that is having contractions 1 minute apart should be discharged from a hospital and told that she's not in active labor. And so we want to talk to them and find out how it is that somehow is okay. We still to this day don't know whether or not the woman who was responsible for this, the nurse, whether or not she's still employed there or not. She should be discharged. She should be fired, period. That's something that instead of sending out that generalized statement that they sent out 2 days ago, that's instead what they should be letting us know. And they should let us sit and talk with them, because otherwise they put us in a position where we have no choice but to file suit. And we're not looking to try and bully anybody, but at the same time, we are certainly looking to hold people accountable.
It is amazing. I don't understand how you can have an investigation if you don't hear from the party that was hurt by this to get their side. And then once you hear from Leon and Mercedes, you then can compare to what the nurse and the doctor, and then you can pull videotapes, because cameras are all in these hospitals, and then you can pull records, and the records, if Mercedes and Leon says we never saw a doctor, then all of a sudden you pull medical reports and say, whoa, there's no doctor's name on here. But you kind of got to hit. Wow.
And see, Roland, the reality of it is that when I look at, like I said, when I look at what Leon is doing right now, when he's been asking people for assistance, we have an ask right now. Our ask right now is that people continue to press and understand that this is the type of thing that if you sweep it under the rug, if attention is not paid to this, then what they will do is they will get away with this. They'll ignore it. They will go away. They will not step to the plate. And the only thing that we can do is to continue to press. We're asking for the public, your audience, to be active in participating in the support of the Wells family. We want people to email that hospital. We want people to call that hospital. We want people to let that hospital know that this type of behavior, this type of conduct, this protocol that they have in place that would allow something like this to happen is unacceptable.
What is the email and the phone number of the hospital?
We'll get that to you right away.
Yeah, give it, because I want to be able to. First of all, what's
Franciscan Hospital, and they're in Crown Point, Indiana.
What's the name of the hospital?
It's Franciscan Hospital in Crown Point, Indiana, And Leon has done an excellent job in interfacing with the many, many supporters that have been kind enough to talk to him through his social media. And he's been asking for some support. And believe me, people have been doing so. But instead of sitting around and saying, like many of us do, we'll shake our head and say, this is disgusting, we know that this is wrong, there are some things that we can do. We should actively participate in supporting the Wells family. They should not have gone through this, and they should be supported.
Here we go to my iPad. Folks, write this number down. Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital. Phone number is 219. This is Crown Point, Indiana?
Crown Point, Indiana.
Yeah, very sure. 219-738-2100. 219-738-2100. Once y'all get an email, let me know that as well, and then I'll give it out. First of all, we're happy to hear. Mercedes and Leon, what's the name of your child?
Alina.
Elena?
Alina.
All right, then. Well, yeah, we don't need a picture of Elena. She right there on the video. The baby right there. So first of all, congratulations. First of all, thank God she's healthy. Thank goodness. Both of you are okay. That was still a traumatic experience. And listen, I've dealt with Cannon on many other cases, and so y'all are in good hands. And y'all be sure to give them hell, and Cannon, keep us abreast and updated on what happens next.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Niambi, I'm going to go to you. The point that Cannon made, we've covered on this story many times. The fact that black women die 3 times higher rate than white women in childbirth. And it ain't got to do with money. Serena Williams, when she was having her child, I mean, she had to damn near cuss out the hospital. And here she married to a white billionaire. She got $2, $3, $4, $500 million herself. So this is not an issue of class or money. It literally is a matter of black and white.
Absolutely. And when people don't see you as fully human, they don't see your pain, your very real needs as urgent, and they treat them as optional, you get things like this. And thank God that the Wells family and their baby are safe, and the same for the woman in Dallas. But how many of these cases that we don't see? How many people don't have the luxury of video or social media, and we don't know their faces now? We don't know their names and where these things happen. And we know the difference maker in many of these cases is having Black OBGYNs, Black nurses who actually take women seriously. The fact that someone could look at this woman with tears in her eyes, even if you didn't believe that she was in, quote, active labor with 1-minute contractions, you didn't even take a second look. You didn't even try to assist. You didn't try to make her feel better. I mean, you basically treated her like an inconvenience and treated her life like it was just nothing, something to discard. So as you say, Roland, I mean, this is, I think, highlighting how critical it is for us to be in these spaces. And when we think about all that is happening to medical education in this country, and with this administration trying to cap the amount of student loans people can get, it's going to be an even higher bar for many of us to enter this profession when we know we are so desperately needed to prevent the Wells family and others like them from having to go through something like this. I mean, the stories and the lawsuits are endless, and it has not resulted in any change.
And Teresa, you know who real quiet? All the pro-life folk real quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes you want to think about who the pro-life is really for. You know, there's so many conversations as it relates to women and abortion, and you know, and it's daunting to hear. One, you know, I'm still taken back by the story, just hearing it in full detail, because you won't really hear it on mainstream about this outside of clips. But, you know, I'm glad they were on this platform telling this story, because as we can see, there are more stories that are happening. There are more bills that are passing locally, but of course nationally. But I think we really need to start addressing not just the accountability of the hospitals, but of the workers. So, like, really, you know, I think that woman, I read an article that had to say that she was part of a union. So we really need to start holding them accountable as well, because, you know, there could be backlash on the employees, but we also have to start looking at some of these employees who work for these unions and making sure they're being held accountable. Because she could be fired, but she also could be put back on because of the way her union contract is. So I think there's so much to look at. But at the end of the day, we're talking about human life. You know, black, brown, or indifferent. And when we talk about pro-life, we need to be thinking about every single person that comes in and out of establishment that's looking for health, wellness, and peace.
Nkoni?
Like Teresa said, I'm absolutely stunned. One thing that I didn't know about the story before we heard from the Wells family is that they were escorted out. Roland, that means they were put out of the hospital. I mean, I'm sure that this woman was in fear of her life at that point. You know, she was actively in labor being put out of a hospital. I can't imagine how that would have felt, but I want us to dig more into the statistics that we were talking about. We know that the Black mortality rate is 3 times higher, but let's compare it against white women. They're only facing 14.5 deaths per 100,000 live deaths, whereas for Black women, that's 50 deaths per 100,000 live deaths. That's scary. That's scary, and that's something that's happening right here in the United States, the best healthcare system in the world. I mean, honestly, we can't continue to see this unconscionable miscarriage of justice when it comes to Black women. I thank God that this woman had a husband that was able to be there and advocate on her behalf. But I think about all of the single Black women that walk into hospitals every day that don't have a partner, that don't have an advocate, that don't have anybody with them, that don't have anybody there to drive them to the next hospital that's 30 minutes away. It's unconscionable. We cannot continue to allow this to happen.
Hell, I think about the brothers who ain't never had a kid before, and they had 2 previous ones. Imagine if you ain't never had a kid, you like, I don't know what the hell is going on. Look, Leon had to be scared to death, Mercedes scared to death, and again, anything could have happened. Imagine if that umbilical cord was tied around that child's neck. Mm-hmm. I mean, anything could have happened in that situation. Listen, I hope they sue the hell out of this hospital. I mean, light Franciscan health ass up. Y'all, here's the phone number again. 219-738-2100. 219-738-2100. I want y'all to blow their phone lines up. I want them, listen, and listen, y'all, let them know. Matter of fact, let's find who the hospital administrator. They got their information on here. Find a provider, condition, service, patient resources. Because I mean, they need to hear from folk, because this makes absolutely no sense on here. They got services. Yeah, they ain't got none of their people on here. Don't worry about it. We're gonna find out who the hospital administrator is, and we're gonna let y'all know how to hit them up, because they need to hear from the community. Because this is just absolutely shameful, what took place to that family. All right, y'all, we come back. Tuskegee was battling the federal government over, battling an organization over their vet school. We'll talk to the president up next. Also, why Lawrence B. Jones got to be so stupid on Fox News? I mean, you already got a bad haircut, but now we got to deal with his stupidity, complaining about Trump's approval rating dropping to 38%. So y'all know we're going to talk about his little meltdown on the network. So it's a lot we're going to talk about. And also, a Muslim in Dearborn, Michigan, is now crying because the right wing is attacking all the Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan. But that's your people. You voted with Trump. Thoughts and prayers? Also, Nick Fuentes, racist, anti-Semite, misogynist. Trump loves him. So does the right. We're going to show you how the Republican Party loves them some good old-fashioned racists. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing on average $50 each a year. That comes out to $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. You get to support all these shows. My show, The Other Side of Change, The Black Table, of course, A Balanced Living. We got a health show coming down the pipeline. We're working on a new daily news show. A lot of things are happening. Your support is critical to us being able to expand what we do on the network. And so if you want to give via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here, bottom left-hand corner. Use that for credit cards as well. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered, Venmo RM Unfiltered, Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Also, checks and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 20037-0196. Back in a moment.
Said the quiet part out loud. Black votes are a threat, so they erased them. After the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2013, Republican legislatures moved fast. New voter ID laws, polling place shutdowns, purges of black voters from the rolls. Trump's Justice Department didn't stop it. They joined in. In 2018, his DOJ backed Ohio's voter purge system, a scheme that disproportionately erased black voters. Their goal, erase black votes and political power. Yeah, that happened. These are the kinds of stories that we cover every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Subscribe on YouTube and download the Black Star Network app. Support fact-based independent journalism that centers African Americans and the issues that matter to our community.
It's your boy Earthquake, giving Roland Martin something to do, because he don't know what to do. He from Texas. Ain't his fault.
Tuskegee University is settling a dispute with the American Veterinary Medical Association and dropping a federal lawsuit it filed just days ago. The university filed an emergency motion seeking to block the medical association from proceeding with a hearing that could have stripped the nation's only historically black veterinary school of its accreditation. Tuskegee University President Dr. Mark Brown joins us right now. Doc, glad to have you on the show. So first of all, what the hell is going on? How did we get to this point?
Hey, thanks a lot, Roland, for giving us some time. So Tuskegee, as you said, is has the only veterinary school, College of Veterinary Medicine, of any of our historically black colleges and universities. We've been accredited and doing this since 1945. Back in 2021, we had a review by the American Veterinary Association, and they found some concerns, and we have since addressed those concerns. That was 4 years ago. We have not had a visit by them since 2021. And so you can imagine that as we had gone through the process, we were concerned, to say the least, when we were scheduled for a hearing in December on our accreditation, when all of the data and all the statistics said that we had made the improvements that they suggested. And so after trying dialogue for quite some time, we had no choice but to file a federal lawsuit in the state of Alabama that said, please follow your own rules, allow due process, and look at the data that we have that says we are now a very valid and continue to be, as we have for the last 80 years, College of Veterinary Medicine. Okay, here's what I understand. They had not been on the campus in 4 years? In 4 years. So no visit, no assessment, no analysis. So they just decided to have a hearing and not even look at the school? So we provided reports. We're not sure that they looked at those reports, but we provided them. But they had not made a physical visit since 2021. And as you know, financial things and a lot of things can change in 4 years, and a lot of things had changed. And that was really our point. We didn't want, I want to make it clear, Roland, we didn't want our standards to be any different than the standards that they would have for any school. We didn't ask for any special recognition in any way. We simply wanted them to review the data like they do at other schools, or like they should at other schools, and judge us by the same standards. You can't do that if the data that you're looking at and the review that you have is dated 2021 and you have not been back since. But what we were asking for was due process. But that's what's just so strange to me, that they would just decide to have a hearing and you haven't even
looked at the school in 4 years.
Well, that was strange to us as well. Now, granted, once we filed the lawsuit, then some things change. You mentioned that we were able to drop the lawsuit. That's because instead of giving us a 2-hour hearing, they decided to give us a 3-day hearing, pushed several months back later to the time when they would actually be able to do it. They allowed us to bring the witnesses that we wanted to bring forth. And none of these things, again, are special circumstances. They're just following the due process rules that they have established.
You know, what people don't understand is that this whole accreditation process can be devastating to a university when you lose it.
Absolutely. Keep in mind, just in terms of context, and I see the byline on one of your screens here saying this, but over 70% of the veterinarians of color in this country graduated from Tuskegee University. And just about every dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine across the country, not just HBCUs, if they happen to be a Black American, graduated from Tuskegee University. So we've been making a significant impact and contribution both to this state and the country for some time in the business of veterinary medicine. However, if you remove the accreditation, even for a year, that stops the pipeline of new students coming in at a critical time in the country when the country is short of veterinarians, especially in rural areas and especially for things like farm animals. So the impact is significant, and it's not a decision that should be made arbitrarily.
To that particular point there, and when you talk about them not coming, you also, the issue that you have is that because it comes down to fundraising. It comes down to student aid. And so that's how, look, that's how Morris Brown was hurt. That's how so many other HBCUs have been hurt, because the reality is, look at a lot of the HBCUs, upwards of 90% of their budget also comes from student financial aid.
That's absolutely right. And this is not the time to take away a career field and a profession that allows people to build wealth. And a veterinarian is allowed to do that because of the demand for veterinarians. You know, one of the issues is always finances. But we proved that we had profitable years for the last 4 years. And we also broke ground on a new small animal clinic for our School of Veterinary Medicine. And that part of it, the first part of it, we did debt-free. We think we need an opportunity to show that our finances are strong, our pipeline is strong, and our product is good.
I want to ask you about another degree program. You guys have been able to celebrate your aviation science degree program. It got restarted thanks to a nearly $7 million grant that came through as a result of Alabama Senator Katie Britt. You know, there were a lot of people who were, I saw a lot of social media comments. People were upset when she got an honorary degree from Tuskegee. And I had to remind people that, listen, Tuskegee is in Alabama. That's a red state. You got 2 United States senators. The reality is black folks are still constituents. And I tell people all the time, whether it's a Democrat or Republican in office, we should be demanding they represent our interests since we are still constituents. And so talk about the first student getting his pilot's license as a result of the rekindling of this aviation program.
Absolutely. You know, we are so proud that we have the blessing, I would say, to be where the Tuskegee Airmen proved to the world that people of color, that black people could fly complex aircraft and have the courage to do so in combat. That was on Moulton Field. And today we're able to have our students go all the way through to a commercial pilot's license. And that portion of their program would cost each student up to $90,000. But it cost our first 100 students nothing. That's because the program was championed by Senator Britt, both in the previous appropriations bill, and if we ever get a bill out of the current Congress, it will have an additional dollars in, totaling almost $11 million when you put them together. Our students would not be able to afford, most students would not be able to simply write a check to go through this program if it were not for those appropriations. And that's exactly why we recognized Senator Britt. But more importantly, we recognize these students, because if you look at the percentage of black Americans, African Americans that are pilots, and you look at the pilot shortage in the country, you will see that we are once again, just like they did in World War II, filling a void that the nation needs, that the nation should invest in. So we are very proud of what our students are doing. And I would tell you, Roland, that half of this class are female. And the percentage of African-American female pilots in the country is less than 1%. But half of our first class will be female pilots. So we're very proud of what we're doing. We're very proud of the connection of that to our Tuskegee Airmen, and we plan to continue to do it and are grateful for the appropriation that allows us to do so and remove the financial barrier.
Well, you know, that's going to make a whole bunch of these MAGA folk mad because they were, Charlie Kirk and others were complaining about, oh, I hope, if I see a black pilot, I hope they qualified. I'm like, yeah, they are qualified because they're well-trained and well-educated. And so that's always important there. And so, well, since I got you here, you got time. What else y'all got going on that you want to be able to tell the country?
Well, you know, I will tell you this, Roland, and I know I'm telling you as a fellow HBCU graduate that, you know, the return on investment for an investment in an historically black college and university is significant. We are a firm science, technology, engineering, and mathematics school. We also focus on the liberal arts, chemical engineering, aerospace engineering, architectural design, agricultural. We are doing the kinds of things that I think everybody should be proud of. And I'll give you an example that many may not realize. We are working very hard on cancer research, building a new almost $13 million genomics cancer research center that looks at the relationship between genes and cancer. We're using it with samples from the Black Belt, where some of these cancers are probably the most problematic in the country. Those are the kinds of things that Tuskegee students and Tuskegee faculty do each and every day. And I like to say that we solve the world's most complex problems. We work on the kinds of things that people care about, be that the shortage in veterinarians, the need for aviators, the importance of agriculture, or cancer research. That's the kind of things that are happening on this historically black college and university. And I know it's happening across the country at these schools. All right, then. Well, Doc, I did not graduate from the HBCU, but I'm a Texas A&M graduate, but I've actually done, let's see, at 107, I've actually visited, spoken at, broadcast my show from 58 of the nation's 107 HBCUs, including Tuskegee. I was there, and I was ribbing one of your graduates, Randy, who was on our show. Randy Bryant, she's a Tuskegee grad, and she gets mad at me because I have never worn any Tuskegee gear on my show. I only wear HBCU gear places I've been to, and I said when I went there, Tuskegee didn't hook a brother up. So the only reason. All right. So the only reason I'm ready to fix that. I'm just letting you know. I got a whole closet over here, Doc, of HBCU stuff, and I'll tell you what. I got three things, and we'll have them in the mail real soon. One of them will say Tuskegee University. Another one will say Tuskegee Airmen. And then there'll be a nice hat that says Alpha Man. I can send that to you. I want to see all three of that on the show. I got you. So I'll tell them. So like a crew neck, whatever, I wear it in the winter. A T-shirt, I wear it in the summer. That way, because I wear stuff all the time. So that's how we recognize HBCUs. We appreciate you joining us for the HBCU Connect segment. That's absolutely great news with the vet school. And if folks want to get more information on Tuskegee, where do they go? Tuskegee.edu. We've got a $300 million comprehensive capital campaign. Go out there and then contribute to schools like this because we make a difference. All right. Dr. Mark Brown, I certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Thank you. All right, folks. Got to go to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Thank you. Bye.
Other side of change. Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion, higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
what's up, everybody? It's Godfrey, the funniest dude on the planet. And you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, y'all. You know it's rough. Fox News, y'all, they not happy. Because even according to their own poll, Donald Trump's approval rating is at 38%. And now you know Fox News is nothing but the propaganda arm of the Republican National Committee and the Republican Party. And they going to kiss that Trump ass as much as they can. And boy, it was so disheartening. It was so sad. I think he was also moved to tears when poor Lil Lawrence B. Jones, sitting next to airhead Ainsley Earnhardt and airhead Brian Kilmeade, he was apoplectic. He just could not understand how dare Americans give their views. How dare Americans could weigh in and not conclude that Donald Trump is the greatest person ever in the history of mankind to occupy any presidential office. He just could not understand. Watch this.
I'm not going to tell the American people how to feel because I think Joe Biden made that mistake of saying, hey, it's transitory, you're not feeling it. But it has only been 9 months. And the bill, the big, beautiful bill, has not, it was passed, but it's not been implemented just yet. There's still some time for that. So he's giving people, and then when it comes to some of the energy policy, all of that has not been implemented just yet. So I'm not saying hold on a little bit, but I am saying it's kind of unfair. Right. When someone has been in there 9 months to put it all on them.
Right. Basically, the American people are going to decide when they go shopping who's got the better plan come midterms. Right. And everything is on the line. It's really whether the president's going to have 4 packed years of successes or 2, and then a struggle in the next 2 if the Democrats get control of the House.
Oh my God. It's unfair. It's been 9 months. Wait, Lawrence. Did he not say, day 1, war's over. Day 1, price is down. Didn't he declare, only I can fix these things and change these things? And it's only been 9 months. I'm sorry. I don't recall Lawrence ever saying, hey, right wing, take it easy. The Inflationary Reduction Act has not fully been implemented. I don't recall Lawrence Jones saying, hey, guys, calm down on the right. That infrastructure bill that Biden got passed that Donald Trump couldn't even put one on the table for 4 years. Remember Infrastructure Week, after Infrastructure Week, after Infrastructure Week. I don't recall Lawrence B. Jones on Fox News saying, hey, it hasn't been fully implemented. So I don't want to tell the American people how they should feel. Then I'm going to come back and say, how dare you ingrates be upset after just 9 months? Well, Lawrence, forgive me, Lawrence, because this is the Fox poll. This is the Fox News poll. You know, Lawrence, the one that pays you. The overall job performance of Trump, 41. He's underwater. They love him with border security. Immigration, 46% underwater. Foreign policy, 43% underwater. The economy, 38% underwater. Tariffs are even worse, 35 underwater. Healthcare, even worse, 34 underwater. 34 approve, 64% disapprove on healthcare. Tariffs, 63% disapprove, 35% approve. The economy, 61% approve, 38% disapprove. In fact, if you take these 6 major things, border security, immigration, foreign policy, the economy, tariffs, health care, the only one Trump is in positive territory is border security. But Teresa, it's just been 9 months. How you can't put all of this on him after 9 months. That's literally what kiss ass Lawrence B. Jones just said.
Yeah, one thing Lawrence is going to do is sell it. You know, for those who watch Fox News in the morning, I have to watch them with CNN at the same time. He's kissing something. He's definitely kissing something.
He's kissing a lot of MAGA ass.
He's definitely doing something to keep that seat. You know, I love it when he talks about he was a former Democrat and why Democrats run and why they lose all the time. And then he's the reason why he's Republican and people still question how he became Republican. It's always the story, the narrative. Like no one would think he's Democrat unless he says it. But I think, you know, the 2 things that I saw in that poll, especially Fox News poll out of all polls, is that border security and immigration were neck and neck. You know, just a few percentage pointage split between each other. And I think the reason why is because you have these advertising commercials going widespread with Kristi Noem. You know, she's riding horseback talking about, you know,
Ice Barbie.
she's definitely putting in the work. So if I'm her in that department, it's just like, hey, we're winning. Because, you know, we're putting commercials out. I look like the Ice Barbie of the face of the movement. But I think the rest of the categories are realistic to what everybody is saying. Healthcare is down. He's not making RFK is not making strides. The agriculture department not making strides. And so, you know, I think if it was switched and we actually had a Democratic president, we would actually see that in 3 months, oh, you're not doing enough, right? And so, you know, I think the commentary is just, one, a bit hilarious, but a bit on the naivety. It's either you believe your audience and what they're telling you and you're willing to fix it, or you're still just a talking head that we're paying you for and you're not telling the truth.
When Couey, I got some, Lawrence, I got some extra chapstick. I got some extra. It's a new one, too. Because the amount of ass that you are kissing, your lips are going to be chapped for a long time. When Coney, I mean, I to sit here, well, I mean, how can you put all of this on him after 9 months? I literally do not recall Lawrence Jones giving Joe Biden a 9-month grace period when he was there. I bet if we pulled the tapes, Lawrence was shitting on Biden after 1 month. You know, but this shows you the level of ass kissing of the help on Fox News. It shows you how right-wing Fox News is, how they are not fair and balanced. They don't give a damn about news. They are there to kiss as much Trump ass as possible.
In that case, they've succeeded. Bravo. I've always asked myself, where does Fox News find its black people? Do they grow them on a farm or is it AI? Because honestly, he is one of the best tap dancers I've ever seen. I want to know, Roland, when have candidates not been judged on their first 100 days in office?
Yeah, we ain't even say 100. This is 9 months. I mean,
it's 9 months.
Polls are taken over and over and over.
We're still getting complaints after 9 months. This tradition of the first 100 days even was started with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, right? This is back in 1933. This is a historical tradition. So now we're not even talking about the first 100 days. We're talking about 9 months in, and we're still getting complaints. Again, I think that we have to be more reasonable, but this is really why it's so important that channels like this exist, Roland, that networks like this exist, because we see people on Fox News placate day after day after day to Donald Trump and his cronies. And at this point, I can't understand how the American people still feel comfortable ingesting that type of information. Facts are the facts. We have to constantly measure presidents against a barometer, against key performance metrics. If we're not doing that, how are we supposed to see if they're being successful or not? Now we have someone who's telling us that 9 months in, we can't take an assessment of how the president's doing. So he can continue to fail the course without any assessments moving forward. What we just saw with the government shutdown is a direct result of the Trump administration. What we're going to continue to see in the next 3 years is going to be a direct result of the Trump administration. So we have to continue to survey. We have to continue to use our key performance indexes, because it's the only way we're going to be able to keep Donald Trump accountable.
Here's what's hilarious, Niambi. Here, I go to my iPad. This is literally Biden's poll numbers.
Mm-hmm.
January, 51.7. It went up to 54.8. And then it began to fall. And then it was constant polling. 49.3, 47.1, 44.9. When we got around to this same period in 2021, 42.5. I guarantee you that if we went into the archives of Fox News, we will hear Lawrence B. Jones, Brian Kilmeade, Angela Earhart, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, just trashing Biden for low poll numbers. But Lawrence, it's been 9 months. What's wrong with y'all? You can't put everything on him. Oh, we can't. That's what y'all did to Biden. That's what y'all did to Obama. That's what y'all did to Clinton. Really?
Well, he's the president. That's the job, right? The buck stops here. It's a saying for a reason. You can't say, I want to own all the good things, and in every trouble, that's somebody else's fault. I haven't had enough time. As you rightly pointed out, he ran on all of these issues. The tariffs, he was going to make the economy better. He was going to make eggs cheaper. He was going to bring down the price of gas. All of that lies. He was going to put more money in our pockets. None of us are seeing it. He was going to destroy the Department of Education. He did that. He's destroying the White House, doing that. He is, shut down our government, did that. I mean, he's doing lots of things very successfully. Just so happens that those things aren't the things that most people want. And so now he is failing like he did the first go round, but people were willing to give it another whirl, and he's failing again. And now everybody wants to come to his aid. This man has campaigned on doing everything at warp speed, whether it was curing COVID or he was going to get us out of these skirmishes in the Middle East. He was going to do all the things. And he's failed at each one. And nobody wants to say that. Now everybody wants to offer this man who is clearly suffering in this job or failing in this job all the outs. And these were the words that he said. This is what he campaigned on. And if we can't hold you accountable for the words that come out of your mouth, what are we supposed to do?
Here's the deal. Trump said the problem with the poll numbers is because they keep polling stupid people. Listen.
So my poll numbers just went down, but with smart people, they've gone way up. They've gone way up. And I mean that. So for those of you, let me show you
what he is. So he'll sit here and he'll make jokes and he'll do all of these different things. But the bottom line is, and again, Fox News, they don't know what to do. They just so apoplectic. Here's Fox Business. They're just kind of like, what the hell's going on?
A new Reuters poll shows President Trump's approval rating falling to its lowest level. Now, this is apparently because of prices and the Epstein files. His approval rating sits at 39%. That is down 9 points from when he took office.
I love this here. Apparently it's because of prices and the Epstein file. Well, this is what happens when somebody lies about prices. He's like, oh, no, everything's up. Everything's down. It's all down. Everything's down. You name it, down, down, down. Stock market up, prices down. It's kind of like, nah, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. So all these people are complaining. Y'all, I came across this other video of somebody complaining. And forgive me for not giving a shit. So I see this video of this guy. He's in Dearborn, Michigan. And Dearborn, Michigan, there are a ton of Muslims there. The right wing has been on a jihad. They have been attacking folks there. They have been upset, mad. They had been going, they going before the city council meeting. They're upset and been protesting. And this guy is like, what are y'all doing? Aren't we together? Roll it.
We are the real Semitic people. I voted for Trump. I made the whole community vote for Trump. We're all Democrats here. Remember that. I made the community vote for Trump. And now look what you guys do. Whoever's the biggest Zionist caused this. Very simple. Okay? And Jews are not Zionists. Zionists can be anybody. There's Muslim Zionists. There's Christian Zionists. They're not real. They're not from the bloodlines of any prophet. What is it? The more you try to make Islam bad, the more these people are going to become Muslims. Sorry.
So let me get this right. You idiots voted for Trump because of what's happening between Israel and Gaza. So y'all said we gonna penalize Kamala. Now you in your feelings because the crazy deranged right-wingers who never liked y'all, who don't want y'all here, who slap all of y'all with Sharia law, now they are protesting in Dearborn, Michigan. And you want us to care? Niambi, thoughts and prayers?
Well, we've had this conversation so many times, Roland. You can have a protest vote. You can vote third party. You can do whatever you would like to do with your vote. But you have to know at the end of the day, somebody is still going to be elected. And you, in this particular case, chose Donald Trump because you thought, for whatever reason, that he was going to be better than Kamala when he told you on the campaign trail he was going to help Israel finish the job. He made it clear that he wanted that land. He wanted to develop it. He wanted to be resorts there. He did not see a pathway back for Palestinians in Gaza. And he is kept with that. And this is not, he has not moved away from Israel at all. And he's certainly not moved away from the violence in the region or the starvation of children or any of the other human rights violations that plagued the Biden administration and Kamala Harris's campaign in particular. So you could do whatever you want with your vote. But when you realize that vote has consequences and they might be higher penalties than you want to pay, you can't then say, I'm upset, I'm mad. You can say it, but it's too late now. We're here and you made that choice.
Well, Coney, it's real simple. They don't like y'all asses. They ain't never like y'all. I don't know who that dude is, but he might want to get my book, White Fear. How the browning of America is making white folks lose their minds. It's right here. This is what it looks like. I have been saying this since 2009 to these people. These white folks want this to be white. So they cannot stand they cannot stand the Muslims in Dearborn. They went before the city council calling them out, mad at them. So I'm sitting there going like, oh, so you thought because you got the other Muslims in Dearborn to screw Kamala and vote for Trump that MAGA was somehow going to give y'all a nice little cute pass? No. They like, appreciate y'all voting for Trump. Thanks for helping him win Michigan. Now get y'all asses out of our country.
If I was him, I would be scared to show my face around the community. He's out there saying, yeah, I got everyone to vote for Trump, although I'm a Democrat. Shame on you, brother. This reminds me what I saw in Miami. You know, I'm from Miami, Roland, when all the Latinos were like, I will vote for Donald Trump. That was a huge problem. And now these are the same people that are getting deported, not even back to Cuba, oftentimes being deported to places that are not even their home countries, right? Because this administration has shown itself time and time again to be a sham. But again, when you vote on a single issue, when you're a single issue voter, and you don't think about the consequences of your actions, and you don't think that you're included when the president is spewing bigotry, when you think that you're excluded from that on account of your religion or account of your race, you are included. If you are a black and brown person living under this administration, he's talking to you. If you are a person that is a non-Christian, he's talking to you. If you're a person that is a non-straight person, he's talking to you. He don't like any of us. All right. So I think people got to be really, really, really clear. Trump has been very, very clear. He's run on a premises of white supremacy, and that's not going to change. So when I see brown people saying that they're going to support him or have supported him in the past, the chickens are simply coming home to roost, like you said, Roland.
Oh, yeah. This is a tweet right here, Teresa. This is Dearborn, Michigan. It is essentially an Islamic state operating in America. How is this acceptable? Oh, Lord, they upset. Oh, they mad, and they trying to protest. And Teresa, I'm sitting there like, hey, man, don't come holler at us. Y'all voted with them. Dearborn, y'all voted with them. So them chickens coming home to roost.
They say elections have consequences, and I think people are feeling it. I think people are trying to figure out their personal next steps. But overall, you know, what I see, you know, especially in these 9 months of Trump's presidency, I think they're also trying to prepare for a J.D. Vance presidency. So I'm kind of keeping watch on where he's going, what he's doing, what he's saying, how he's interacting. You know, I've just seen him peak a little bit more than, and I believe there was a poll about, you know, his advancement inside of Magna. So I think we all just need to be prepared for whatever's next. Because one thing about the Magna team, they will do whatever it takes to make sure they maintain power and authority, whatever that looks like.
Yep, absolutely. All right, quick break. We come back. Now, Donald Trump, now super Christian, now he supposedly cares about the Christians being hurt, being harmed in Nigeria. And now we got that super duper policymaker, Nicki Minaj, endorsing him at the United Nations. I'll be right back.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Our legal roundtable is back in session as we look at yet another potential landmark case being considered by the United States Supreme Court. This one is called 303 Creative versus Alennis, and may be the most important and far-reaching First Amendment, that is freedom of speech, case of our time. It could, depending on how the court rules, open the door for a return of Jim Crow segregation laws. It's true.
If you say we can discriminate against one, you're saying we can discriminate against all.
That's on the next Black Table. Don't miss it. Right here on the Black Star Network.
Hey, I'm Tasha Cobbs, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. But I need a little filter. I need something. Blow me out. Make me look 35.
In Ohio, both sides have arrested in the 2-week trial of Officer Connor Grubb, charged with the killing of 21-year-old Takia Young. Grubb did not testify but submitted a written statement. Prosecutors say he and another officer confronted Young outside a Kroger over a shoplifting report, yelling at her to get out of the car. When her vehicle inched forward with a turn signal on, Grubb fired a single shot, killing her and her unborn child. Grubb faces up to life in prison if convicted of murder. Judge David Young, no relation, dropped 4 charges tied to the death of Young's daughter, ruling there was no evidence Grubb knew she was pregnant. Bloomington, Indiana police arrested 16 men in a 3-day sting operation called Operation Creep, targeting adults who tried to solicit a 17-year-old girl for sex. Well, Megyn Kelly would call them almost legal. The suspects, mostly from Twin Cities, includes a federal immigration and customs enforcement auditor and a Minnesota Pollution Control Agency staffer. Here is Bloomington Police Chief Booker Hodges describing what the ICE employee said.
This one shames. This is a tragedy in many respects, but people at the Department of Homeland Security, I know there are great people there that come to work every single day and do their jobs and do it admirably. Unfortunately, Mr. recently married back here is not one of those people. He works for ICE, and he is an auditor for them, a civilian employee. When he was arrested, he said, "I'm ICE boys." Well, you know, unfortunately for him, we locked him up, put him in our jail. He got reappropriated to our jail, and my understanding is he helped send people to send federal authorities. I think he's going to see some federal authorities because I think the feds are going to take this case.
I'm ICE, boys. Congratulations. You're now arrested. Hodges said these investigations are more challenging now because traffickers use advanced technology and online ads, and some suspects even brought guns and drugs to their meetups. A federal judge has questioned the Justice Department about how it secured charges against former FBI Director James Comey. Prosecutor Lindsay Halligan, an idiot, acknowledged in court that the charges currently filed had not been reviewed by the entire grand jury. I told y'all she's a dumbass, and they're going to talk about DEI. Halligan pursued the indictment after the twice-impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief, Donald the Idiot Con Man Trump, fired a U.S. attorney who allegedly resisted bringing charges. Comey pled not guilty to charges of making false statements and obstruction related to this Senate testimony in 2020. His lawyers say Trump saw charges, regardless of the facts, as a means of punishment. Now, Trump's trial is scheduled to begin on January 5th. I got a feeling it's not going to happen. All right, folks, let's talk about what's happening in Nigeria. Donald Trump is now threatening military action in Nigeria. Now we got Nicki Minaj. She's been on social media, now speaking at a U.S. organized United Nations event to call attention to the plight of Christians in Nigeria, claiming more than 7,000 Christians have died just this year. She expressed gratitude to Donald Trump for prioritizing the issue.
In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see.
All right, folks, about a 5-minute speech that she gave. Now, the government there says they reject a claim that genocide is happening there. While violence in Nigeria has indeed claimed thousands of lives, it stems from multiple causes that we're about to get into right now with our guests. So let's talk to national security and foreign policy expert Asha Castleberry-Hernandez. Glad to have you here. So, all right, explain to people what's going on there. 'Cause let's be real clear. Americans don't give a shit about what's happening in African countries. We don't. So all of a sudden, Nicki Minaj is now talking about this here. The right-wing MAGA folks are now, applauding her. So really, what's the cause of this violence in Nigeria? And is it recent or has this been happening for a long time?
Well, it's been happening for quite some time, since 2009, orchestrated by Boko Haram. But what has happened is that because this has been such an enduring problem, orchestrated by Boko Haram, it has created a complex security environment where it's just not just Christians that are being targeted, it's also Muslims. And it's so perplexed that when you look at the tactical approach here, many of the attacks are like coming in and saying, oh, are you Christian? Okay, I'm going to attack you for that. No, they're just attacking people. They attack mosques, they attack churches. So it's more perplexing. When you look at the optics here, it's too one-sided. She needs to be promoting on the fact that it's a humanitarian issue, a humanity issue, and that in terms of interfaith, we need solidarity between the two countries, not just focus on one religious community.
Well, we understand why, because you have these right-wingers who claim to be evangelicals and loving Jesus, and they want to say, oh, Christians are being persecuted. This is also part of Donald Trump's whole MO by saying, oh, Christians are being persecuted. Look, they think Christians are being persecuted in the United States.
Yes, and in fact, this is part of his base where, it's driven by the fact that I have a lot of Christians. In fact, a lot of them are deeply influential when it comes to galvanizing the black vote and the brown vote to justify why they should support me. So I think this is something where they want to go global with it. But again, they're using the wrong person. When it comes to celebrity diplomacy, the point is to shape global policy, and this is not the right approach. You got to look at history. Like, for instance, you could use someone like a Reverend Jesse Jackson, who had a whole bunch of access to foreign leaders and governments to make a difference. But here it's not. All it did was agitate the Nigerian government, and it has no influence here. All it did was pretty much raise awareness because she had 26 million followers, but it did not make a difference.
Well, here is the tweet that this idiot sent out on Truth Social. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians, warning the Nigerian government better move fast. He might want to slow down, Asha, because last I checked, isn't Nigeria number 4 in sending oil to America?
Yes, and also, too, that's a very cavalierish approach. As I said, I told Newsweek, he should not necessarily put defense on the table. It should be approached to diplomacy, working very closely with Nigerian government and also those of leadership and influence in the area. So approaching it with a hammer is not necessarily the right one. But I think what we're seeing is a pattern here. It's the same thing what you're seeing as far as the gunboat diplomacy that's being conducted in Venezuela. We start off harsh, and then we try to get soft over time. And also, just going back to the Nicki Minaj issue, she does not have influence when it comes to Nigeria, nor foreign policy in the United States. So you need to treat all these issues the same way. Would you bring her to the peace accords in Egypt to resolve the issue in the Gaza crisis? No. Would you bring her to go talk to President Zelensky? No. And would you also have her address the issues developing in Venezuela? No. So I think because it's Nigeria and there's a level of deprioritization here, this is why we invite people like her to play a part in this.
Malcolm Nance tweeted this in response to that idiot post. Is Trump effing high? Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa with 237 million people. Also, it's 45% Christian. That's 106 million Christians. He said the Gulfian has been fighting a counterinsurgency against Islamic terrorists for decades. Nigerian Muslims murder, kidnap, attack disproportionately in the north, which is why we were helping them stop Boko Haram. Get this demented old fool off the Adderall and off social media.
That's right. So it is important to note that we have spent, again, another more than a decade engaging in this specific issue and working very closely with our African allies as far as addressing these issues. But unfortunately, it requires more than just a defense approach. It requires diplomacy and using international organizations like the United Nations the right way, not necessarily just bringing in a hammer to address it and then calling it out. I just think that this is definitely treated differently compared to the other crises that are happening around the world because it is Nigeria.
Questions from the panel. Niambi, you first.
Thank you so much for bringing this context. I mean, this is certainly not an issue that requires a celebrity, but someone who really understands the region. Is there any concern that Trump's threats might be followed through on, and this sort of hey about Christian violence as used as pretext to invade Nigeria and take resources?
There is some concerns involving your implication. It's very wild in terms of which way it can go. But I think what we're seeing is the way they're studying this approach is probably going to be similar to what you're seeing in Venezuela, as well as the Gaza crisis, where they feel that, he starts off very partial, only favoring one group, and then eventually he starts to double down on diplomacy. But rhetoric matters when it comes to the United States presidency. So it definitely will most likely exacerbate conditions there in Nigeria where they'll take advantage of his optics. That's why it's just very unfortunate that her optics there were one-sided.
Wait,
So personally, I haven't respected Nikki since she went on her drug-fueled tirade about Cardi B's children, but that's neither here nor there. I just want to bring up a few valuable points about how, while we're over here in the West, what we're missing about a crucial component about the African continent is it's not about religion. Most often it's about tribalism. What we're seeing in Nigeria is that the Fulanis are actually the ones that are indiscriminately attacking. So that means they're not focused on attacking Muslims or Christians specifically. Nigeria, to set the context, is a 50% Muslim, 50% Christian country, right? So
yes,
they're not focused on religion as much as they're focused on getting money, right? These are gangs, essentially. So they're extorting people for money. They're kidnapping people indiscriminately, right? But I think, to Roland's point previously, we have to follow the money. When we think about oil, right? When you said resources earlier, when my previous panelist said resources, we're talking about oil. Nigeria just last year opened up the largest single-site refinery in the world with the current capacity of 650,000 barrels per day under the world's richest black man, Aliko Dangote, right? So why do you think the United States all of a sudden gives a damn about Nigeria? That's why. What about when Trump called Nigeria a shithole country? He didn't care about Nigeria then. He doesn't care about Nigeria now. It's about following the money. And as long as we follow the money, we know exactly where Trump is headed. This is rhetoric. Nikki was used as a tool. And it's unfortunate that she didn't see that that's exactly what this was.
Right. And you could tell that she didn't necessarily really assess the entire situation in terms of the dynamics, especially when it comes to energy. I mean, energy diplomacy is a huge part when it comes to U.S. foreign policy, right? So when the Ukraine-Russia crisis broke out, we were restricted in terms of a specific energy market to where the United States had to run to Venezuela as far as helping to stabilize oil prices. And it's the same thing when it comes to Nigeria, right? But what we're seeing is a level of bullying tactics when it comes to the United States right now, where it's, yeah, I need you, but I can still bully you to get what I want. And it's very risky because this is not how you manage your allies and partners in the 21st century international system. So I don't think that that's being taken into account, especially when it comes to Nicki Minaj. We need someone better that understands these issues, has the ability to project power and influence, and be able to engage in this effectively, and not what we just saw just recently.
Well, let's just be clear. Having Nicki Minaj speak on this stuff is just about trying to get viral attention. That's what it is. Teresa?
Yeah, I totally agree. And, I think one of my questions for you, Acha, is, what are the Nigerian people saying about this? Because this, is an economic issue, right? And I do believe Nicki Minaj was just the wrong source of this. I think she should have been very educated on this. But what are the people, in Nigeria saying about what's going on and how they're being portrayed?
Well, apparently they're saying it's insulting to use her as a way to influence their security environment right now. Again, as mentioned before, we could have used the interfaith community. We could have used civil rights leaders and look at examples like Reverend Jesse Jackson, or tap into people like, Reverend Al Sharpton or Jamal Bryant, if you want to talk about an interfaith approach, even the Pope. So to be able to put her on the international stage and promote a message like this, it's insulting to them, and it has no influence, and it tells you a lot about how the United States views African countries. Just an example prior to this was South Africa. Look how we engaged with their leadership in the Oval Office. So it's further defining how we are approaching this issue, and to be able to put her on stage as far as trying to influence it, I don't think they're not in favor of it at all. And where is the approach when it comes to the Sudan issue? They've been pretty limited as far as how they're messaging on that. So the messaging is not good when it comes to U.S. foreign policy when it involving this continent. And unfortunately, they should have used someone else.
An excellent point. Asha, we appreciate it. Thanks for the breakdown.
Thank you.
All right, folks, going to a quick break. We come back. We'll talk with Isaac Hayes III about Fanbase, but also AI in music. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network.
If in this country right now, you have people get up in the morning, and the only thing they can think about is how many people they can hurt, and they got the power, that's the time for mourning.
For better or worse, what makes America special, it's that legal system that's supposed to protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority.
We are at a point of a moral emergency. We must raise a voice of outrage. We must raise a voice of compassion. And we must raise a voice of unity.
We are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win.
Melanie Campbell, National Coalition on Black Civic Participation and Black Women's Roundtable. And we are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered all day, every day, 24/7. Spread the word.
All right, folks. Everybody keeps talking about AI and music, and the music industry has been losing their mind over this sister who signed this supposedly signed a $3 million deal with a record label and all kind of stuff like that. And what the hell is really going on? What are we now dealing with? Joining us right now, Isaac Hayes III. He's the CEO, founder of Fanbase. Isaac, you posted something earlier today where you, who was the person? Monet or something like that? This AI singer. So you gotta be cracking up where she's an AI singer. You decide to use the same AI to take her song and make it sound like her.
Yeah, with these new AI artists, there is no real protection against anybody duplicating the voice of the person that already has created it, because you're using the AI product. So it's a combination of all these other artists' voices, and you're not doing anything original.
So you're saying that, all right, you AI, and I can just take your AI, create my own AI, and make music and make money.
And copyright, and the copyright law says that you can't even own the masters of the AI that you generate. You could stream them, you could put them up on a streaming service, but you don't necessarily own that product because it's generated and made with AI, so you don't own it.
So you are dealing with, I mean, you've been dealing with copyright revisions, getting it back, your dance music. What's really at play here? Do you think the real play here are music labels saying, we don't give a damn about y'all artists. We don't want y'all owning nothing, controlling nothing. We want to make the money off the music, the publishing, and everything.
I think that it is a play for money because, again, any way that people can find a way to cut out the middleman or, increase profits in what they're doing, then they're going to do it. But I don't think it's a good idea because I think a lot of these companies are over-indexing on AI. I think from the music standpoint, from the content standpoint, people want to see real things, hear real music, see real artists. And so, it's always done for greed, but I think it's going to come back to bite them in the behind towards the end.
And I think there is a huge difference. I've had some people, look at, we get a big kick. King Wallonia does some great stuff, and others as well. But as somebody who loves music, I can listen to some stuff and I can tell what's computer driven, that it has some emotion, but it ain't got that human emotion.
No, I mean, AI will get better. Without a doubt, it will get better as it learns more and more. But that's the problem. It's being trained off pre-existing copyright. So how do you compensate the people that are the guinea pig for the AI model? Like in Zanaya Monet's instance, she sounds a lot like K. Michelle. It sounds a lot like K. Michelle with a little bit of Beyonce in there. So if they're training off K. Michelle's music and Beyonce's music, especially their voice, their name, image, and likeness, then there's definitely lawsuits that are going to be filed because they're illegally training their AI off of pre-existing artists.
Yeah, you give me an AI singer sound like Aretha Franklin, it's going to be like, that is not the queen.
100%.
Absolutely. All right. So you got that. Let's now talk about what we're seeing happen now in the social media space. You've got, Trump trying to sell TikTok to his right-wingers, the Ellisons, things along those lines. What's been happening with all this going on? Blue Sky, Elon still lying about how great X is. What's been going on with Fanbase?
Oh, man, we've been hard at work. We actually just started releasing our new AI algorithm, like a recommendation engine. This is the biggest thing we've built at the company. This is probably the biggest product we've built since I founded the company because it's an expansive product. It covers a wide range of behaviors and an in-depth understanding, like learning what you watch. It'll help with bringing content to creators. It won't shadow ban creators. It'll increase your views. And we just started rolling it out today. So I'm really excited because we've been working on this since July. The algorithm is key to showing people the type of content that they're interested in, but it learns based off like how long you watch something, if you like it, if you love it, if you share it, what's in the video. All these things are a part of what help recommend content to users, and the big part of what social media is right now. So I'm really, really excited. That's what all this, this capital raise has been about, is building a better product. And I know a lot of people are going to be excited because now their engagement is going to increase exponentially on the platform, and it actually helps train the AI with what we're doing.
All right. Because I'm on the app right now. What other changes? Looks like some other stuff has been done.
Yeah, we did a UI UX redesign, easier to post content. That's really, really important. There's a couple other announcements. I can kind of let the cat out of the bag on one of the things tonight, but we'll be announcing tomorrow. There's a very, with this redesign of the algorithm, there's a very, very popular format of videos that are becoming very, very popular. And we're going to foray into that space come 2026. And I'm just going to say the word microdramas.
Yo, seriously, I got a text message last night from a longtime friend who's a director producer in Hollywood about wanting to do a microdrama with me and the Black Star Network. And I've been reading about it, obviously. And so I was like, all right, how long, how many parts, how much it's going to cost? So for folks who don't know, what the hell is a microdrama?
So microdramas are this huge, huge, huge new format of vertical video. seen on social media. It's very, very popular out of China. In fact, the microdrama industry in China is actually larger than the TV and film industry over there. About 350 million people watch microdramas every day. It's about a $9 billion industry, and it's exploding, and it's also exploding in the United States of America. But one of the things that I noticed that is not there are African-American microdramas, diverse microdramas, Latinx microdramas, African microdramas. And then on top of that, you actually need a model of distribution. And I think the great thing about what we have over at Fanbase is we already have vertical video. You unlock the microdramas with digital currency, coins, which actually equate to exactly what love is. You need an algorithm, and to subscribe to see more and more microdramas, you have subscriptions. So Fanbase already has that. We've already started actually developing that. I'm going to talk about who our partner is that's going to actually be producing the microdramas, but I'm really excited because this is something that will be a great benefit to investors and the platform, so I'm really excited about that.
All right, cool. Questions from the panel. Let's see here. Out of the three people, who do I think the most technically proficient? Niambi's like, do not come to me first. She's like,
no, I'm not the most technologically proficient. I can tell you that now.
All right, well, I'm going to make you ask the first question then.
Okay. Well, what do you tell us? Well, I'm a younger Gen Xer and us older millennials about, how to get into this space, because sometimes it does feel like it is for young people and can be overwhelming because there is so much happening and it seems all the time. So where do you advise we start?
With microdramas or just social media in general?
Just this sort of tech space, because microdramas, that's a first I've heard of that term today. So just any of it, because it feels like it's ever evolving and it's always changing. It's something new to learn.
So while I do this here, I'll augment. This will be a friendly amendment to Nambi's question. What we're now seeing with social media, the ability to do subscriptions, to generate revenue, to be able to really become your own, to really become blow up even more content creators, to be much more of a content creator. How are you solving that with Fanbase to make it easier for somebody like Niambi as a point of entry? Does that work, Niambi?
That works.
Isaac, go ahead.
Well, we're changing. We've been changing the narrative, which is every single person has the ability to be their own channel, right? Like right now on social media, social media is the new television. When you think about it, 85% of people consume their news on vertical videos online. So people are looking towards their phone more than they're looking towards their television, right? And so for someone that's starting out, you have to get into that space and start posting content and building community. And then on top of that, the ability to monetize that community through subscription, which Fanbase has in-app purchase, peer-to-peer subscription. So you can subscribe to a user using Apple Pay and Google Pay. We were the first to do that. It makes it simple and seamless. Everybody on Fanbase has that ability. It doesn't require anything. It doesn't cost anything. The app is free. And we've been continuing to work on that along with other things, this year.
So I'll add a part two. So essentially, Niambi, what Isaac is saying is you're a political science professor. If you decide that, hey, I want to start a daily, 3 times a week, 2-3 minute Schoolhouse Rock 2.0, let me explain to y'all politics. You have the ability to now sit in front of your camera, press record, or go live, do that, try to explain politics in a very simple, easy way to folk, and then boom, build your following. And then now, if you decide to do a virtual book signing or whatever, tied to your book, you built your audience up to be able to do that. So the sort of problem for a lot of people is that how do you take your expertise and now channel it? So if you win Cooney, here you are, win Cooney, you're next, and you're trying to reach, if you want to reach younger folks, same thing. Now you can use social media in a way where you're not waiting to get booked on somebody's show. You are, in essence, creating your own show every single day by driving social media. That leads me right to Win Cooney.
I love that. I love the idea of that. Isaac, I guess my question is for you is when I started looking into micro dramas, I learned that the budgets are usually quite small compared to what an actual drama would cost, right? So a budget for a micro drama is 100 to 300,000. My question is, with fan bases, is it a crowdfunding type like platform where people could raise that $100 to $300,000, or is it behind a paywall and they would actually have to pay to view the content once it is produced?
So let me before Isaac answers that, I'll also say this here. To your point there, if anybody who's watching, go look up a guy named Country Wayne. Country Wayne made these videos with this. Blew his following up. He posted something the other day where he did, in 28 days on Facebook, 918 million views. Something like
billion views.
A billion views in 1 month.
Yeah.
He said he's dropping what, 20, 30, 40 videos. Is he also bringing other people in? So the point I'm making there, you can actually create content and they were shooting with a phone, vertical, no editing. I sent him a text and he was like, man, we ain't sitting here using a bunch of stuff, one camera, going person to person. So it doesn't require even a massive capital raise. And if you really want to go back further, go back to when Issa Rae, when she started, when they were doing those shows on YouTube, it was a bunch of people who didn't have jobs, who were like, well, you're in lighting and I'm in camera, I'm in this and the other, and they pull their talent to create sort of the content. How's it go?
Well, let me say this. The microdrama market is exploding here in the United States of America. But my concern is what happens, which is what always happens, is that they'll get into the space and then African Americans will be used to boost up the microdrama industry. But who actually owns the platforms that produce the microdramas? Who actually owns those platforms? And so Fanbase is just a distributor. We're not the producers of microdramas, but we are going to start to distribute microdramas in 2026, which is important because the other microdrama apps that are out there right now have a retention problem, because once you watch the microdrama, there's really nothing left for you to do there. And so for us, you actually have both worlds where you can go back to looking at regular vertical video or any of the other features that are available on Fanbase. But when I tell you, if anybody researches, if you Google microdramas right now, see how Kim Kardashian, all the Hollywood execs, they're creating all these microdrama companies and apps. And they're going to flood the space. But the problem is that there is no distribution model for that. And so Fanbase is going to serve as a distribution model to allow microdramas to be shown to a wide variety of audiences. When it comes to financing, that's done outside. Those are the deals that are done outside separate. But I want to make sure that Fanbase is a place where people feel like, especially people of color, have an opportunity to produce microdramas and get them visible, because there are none. If you look online, there are no black microdramas, but believe me, they're coming 100%.
Well, I'll just say this on that point. The reality is what Fanbase does, it serves as the distribution vehicle. You can have a piece of content. You want to be able to be somewhere where you can access as many people as possible. The problem when you look at Instagram and these other platforms is, look, if I look at it right now, according to Instagram, I've got 874,000 followers. The reality is, I'm not actually reaching. When I post a piece of content on Instagram, I am not reaching 874,000 people. I'm not. So what they're doing is they are throttling your following. I know Teresa has to go, so Teresa, I appreciate it. Thanks on today's show. Thanks a lot. You're not reaching that. And so what you're saying with the algorithm you're just talking about there, Isaac, is that if you've got 85,000, 100,000 followers on Fanbase, you're going to be able to reach your 100,000.
Yes, your content will be visible by all of your following. And then on top of that, you'll be recommended to users that are interested in your content. See, on Instagram, your content is only recommended to people that are interested in your content. Your following does not automatically get sent your content. Like, so your 800,000 followers on Instagram do not automatically get your content. On Fanbase, your following automatically gets your content as well. So it's a good mix because it's based off advertising. And so advertising is not our initial agenda. Our initial agenda is to actually create a space where creators and users are the ones that monetize and reap the benefits. And then it's a rev share model. So if you make money as a creator in any way on the platform, then we make money. So it keeps us in a position of always putting the creator first. That's really the most important part.
There you go. All right. Isaac, where are you on the raise?
The raise is closing. So let me just tell y'all that right now. The crowdfund for Fanbase is closing December 18th. This is the last chance to invest in Fanbase at this valuation. We've been working hard the last year. Anybody that wants to invest, I implore you to go to startengine.com/fanbase right now and invest. We're at about 13.5. I think actually we're at
Nope. You said you got the video 13.6.
Yeah, we're at 13.6 million. The raise closes at $17 million. So it's roughly 3,500 people investing in the platform, and we're actually rolling. I hope to see you there, but we're doing our investor dinner, our investor holiday dinner here in Atlanta, December 5th. So those people that have been,
I will not be there because that day is actually the 70th anniversary. That week we're going to be. I'm in Atlanta December 1st through 3rd for Global Hope Forum. Then we go to Montgomery the 4th and the 5th because that's the 7th anniversary of Montgomery bus boycott. That December 5th is when they had the mass meeting that kicked off the Montgomery bus boycott. So we'll be broadcasting live from Montgomery on December 5th.
All right. Well, I'll make sure I catch up with you a couple of days before in Atlanta. But everybody else, this is my message to you guys. We have to own these apps. You see what's going on with TikTok. You see what's going on Instagram. They're getting acquired by Larry Ellison and Trump and all these other people. And so this is it for us. This is our opportunity to actually have equity in platforms that we can use and own simultaneously. And we are at a real watershed moment in our community where we have to get information, what Roland's saying, what everybody else is saying online, everybody's talking about, but we have to own these platforms. So the minimum to invest in Fanbase is $399. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. It gets you 60 shares in the company. And we want to close this raise with a bang. There's also, remember, we have this blackout coming in during the holiday season for Black Friday to Cyber Monday. We're not spending any money there. And so invest for your children, your grandchildren, yourself. Make this a Christmas gift. Put that money somewhere else other than the regular places in these companies that don't care about you, but something that you can own and help build yourself. So I'm promoting investing very, very hard during this blackout season, and investing in Fanbase is one of those things to do. But do it before December 18th, because once the race closes, you won't be able to invest.
All right. Again, startengine.com/fanbase, startengine.com/fanbase. Isaac, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Let me thank Win Cooney. Let me thank Niambi. Let me thank Teresa for being on today's show. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Folks, that is it for us. I know we had so much stuff, y'all. I threw some extra stuff in there. I am going to do the Nick Fuentes thing. Trust me. I know I've been saying it for 2 days, but I'm going to push it to tomorrow because something that's really important, because I need y'all to understand how the right wing is focusing on mobilizing and organizing these races, especially these young races, to win election races in the future. All right. You want to support our work? Please. What you should do is contribute to our Bring the Funk fan club. When you invest in this show, this network, that money is going back into the show. And we have, Keenan, send me the number. I think we've had, I think we're now up to 37,000. Send me the number of actual donors. But since we launched this show 7 years ago. And of course, we also salute them every Friday. We run their names. With your name on the list, you want to contribute, go to, you want to use Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. It's also for credit cards. You see it right here, the QR code, bottom left-hand corner. PayPal is R. Martin Unfiltered. Venmo's RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Check some money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. We've had, let's get to 200,000 downloads. We've had 156,000 downloads of our app. So to download the app, you can download it to your Apple phone, your Android phone, your Apple TV, your Android TV, your Roku, your Amazon Fire TV. Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. We are on all of those platforms, so please check it out. Let's see here. To get my book, White Fear, How the Browning of America is Making White Folks Lose Their Minds, available at bookstores nationwide. You can get it at bookstores, also get it online. And if you want to hear the version I read on Audible, just download that one as well. If you want to support our gear, get our Roland Martin Unfiltered Black Star Network gear, go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Shopblackstarnetwork.com. T-shirts, hoodies, crew neck, zip-ups, all that good stuff. You can all get it there. And if you want to support all of these black-owned products you see right here, not my hat, so you can't get my hat right here. But all these products right here, go to shopblackstarnetwork.com, marketplace as well. All that's on the website. And again, support Fanbase. Shout Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. I'm repping their crew neck today. And so always I had a good time when I was there. I get the commencement there as well. And so shout out to Lincoln University. And I can't wait to get my Tuskegee gear as well. Hey, Alcorn State, y'all ain't sent me y'all stuff. Oakwood, y'all ain't sent me y'all stuff as well. So y'all let them know to send your stuff in. All right, y'all, that's it. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow right here, Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.